If you're looking to buy your first home in Denver, I know it can feel a bit overwhelming. Well, in this video, I wanted to show you what we consider to be some of the top neighborhoods for first-time homebuyers that you should definitely be considering. And these neighborhoods are going to offer you the perfect mix of affordability, convenience, and a great lifestyle. And some of these areas we have not even talked about on our channel yet. So whether it's your first-time home or not, and you're just looking for a great neighborhood to call home in Denver, stick around to the end. You're not going to want to miss these. So before we dive into the first neighborhood, I want to sort of set the ground rules for what we consider a good neighborhood for first-time homebuyers. Now, starting off, let's talk about affordability. So the average home price in Colorado right now, or in the Denver metro area, is right around $600,000. All the areas that I'm going to show you are going to be either right at or just below the average home price. On top of that, if you're a first-time homebuyer, I'm guessing you don't want to have to do a whole lot of maintenance on an old home. The neighborhoods we're going to go over today are also going to be new or newer developments where the home is typically going to be within the first 5 years of its life. And it's really nice as a first-time home buyer where typically you're taking together all your savings and everything like that for the down payment, closing costs and whatnot. And you're not going to have maybe a whole ton of funds left over for replacing a furnace, replacing a roof, just doing the general home maintenance and things like that. So it is really nice when you're moving into a newer home as a first-time home buyer, knowing that you're probably going to get 10, 15, 20 years out of your furnace and air conditioner and roof. The structural is in good condition and things like that. We definitely want to take all of those things into consideration as we're going over these neighborhood recommendations for you. Now, we're also going to talk about convenience and lifestyle. So all the neighborhoods we're going to go over today are going to be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes from downtown Denver and also DIA, Denver International Airport. A lot of our folks that are moving out here, they do work remotely, but they end up traveling a lot, or they just want to travel and see family, or have family be able to easily travel to them and not have to drive, 2 hours from the airport to their home. So with all of those things being taken into consideration, let's dive into our top three. Now, our first neighborhood we're going to recommend is the Aurora Highlands. Now, the Aurora Highlands is located on the northeast side of Aurora, and I'll jump over to the map here in just a minute and show you guys where that's located. But one of the biggest draws to the Aurora Highlands really is the affordability. It's all new construction, and there is so much future growth potential here. It's insane. Now, this part of Aurora has previously been completely undeveloped. You're fairly close to DIA, and this neighborhood is going to be filled with tons of homes, tons of parks, a lot of cool art, which you'll see here in just a second, and a lot of mixed use facilities. So that's going to be commercial and residential places put together. You've got new schools that are being built out there, and the future of Aurora Highlands is looking very, very good. So let's jump over to the map here, and I'll give you guys a quick rundown of where the Aurora Highlands is. All right, so let's start off with where Aurora Highlands is located. To get us sort of centralized here, we've got Denver right here in the middle of the map. Now, Aurora Highlands is going to be at right about, let's say, 230 or so, right over here, just north of I-70. Let's touch on our highways real quick here. So we've got I-25 is our primary north-south highway. And then I-70 is one of the primary east-west highways located on the north side of Denver. So if you take I-70 from Denver all the way out east here, as soon as we cross over 470, up in this pocket is where we are going to find Aurora Highlands. To give you some perspective as far as how far we are from Denver, you're located 25 to 30 minutes from Denver. But then if you notice, we've got DIA just immediately north of Aurora Highlands here. This is probably a 10 to maybe 15-minute drive max from the Highlands to the airport. So if proximity to the airport and major highways is important to you, this might be a really, really good option. Now, I'm going to jump over here to the Aurora Highlands website where they have some really cool videos to show you guys a lot of what is built and then what is currently upcoming. So as you guys are looking at right here, they're just showing you some of the highway access. Here's one of the new schools that is open, and this is a preschool through 8th grade school. We've got, I think, 5 main builders out here, tons of new build homes, not very big lots. That is one of the things that you'll notice about the area, and honestly, that's kind of just new builds in general. You're not seeing very, very large lot sizes out here. As you see from this sculpture here and kind of the entry into the neighborhood, it's very interesting, but it is very art centric out there. Now, this pool is not built yet. That is to come. but between all the different parks out there, like these little pocket parks that they have big parks, they have little pocket parks, trails all throughout, new schools, and affordability. The average home out there is going to be around $500,000 to $600,000. They will have some potentially even lower than $500,000 that are maybe smaller square footage, maybe they don't have a basement. And then you're going to have bigger homes that have the 3-car garages that are 3,500 square feet. Again, not a massive lot, but even on those might range on the bigger homes out there, maybe $650,000 or so. So very, very affordable when it comes to all the parks and community that you have out there, proximity to the highways, and then just the quality of builds that you'll find out at those homes. All right, guys, before we move on to number 2, I want to remind you that we are licensed real estate brokers. So there's a number popping up on the screen right now. If you're considering a move to Colorado, throw us a phone call or text message, guys. We'd love to jump on a quick 30-minute Zoom call with you, answer any questions that you may have, give you our 2 cents of some potential areas that might work for you based on your specific situation. So guys, let's get right back to the content. Now, coming back to the map here, I want to point out just a couple other things that might be relevant to you. Now, here again, to highlight where we're at, this is Aurora Highlands right here, okay? When we're talking about Aurora primarily, I want to outline, standard or typical Aurora would be. Aurora is a massive, massive city, guys. So Aurora is going to basically cover this whole area. Right, we'll include Aurora Highlands. So if you were to take this same footprint that we have here, pick it up and put it on the west side of I-25, so this whole area over here, Aurora's footprint would literally take up about 10 major cities that we have here on the west side of Denver. So I want to show you this example because Aurora is massive, guys, and Aurora is broken up into many different sections. You're gonna have North Aurora up here, pardon my drawing. This northern Aurora part, this is the oldest part of Aurora. It is the most densely populated. It's located right next to Denver. And then below that, we're going to have Central Aurora, which I would say would cut off right about here, which I believe this is maybe Iliff. And then we're going to have South Aurora and then Southeast. And part of this might also be Centennial. So this was how, Aurora typically was laid out. But now since we've had just more developments that are popping up, we now have a new part of Aurora, over here, which is, we'll just call it Eastern Aurora. Okay. Again, pardon my drawing. It looks like a kindergartner drew this. And once I clear this out here, we'll come in here and pretty much anything on the east side of 470 here is all going to be new builds. You'd have a few different neighborhoods. You've got Murphy Creek down here, got Harmony here, and then once we go just north of I-70, this is where we get into Aurora Highlands. This whole area just feels completely different than the rest of Aurora because, again, it is all new. There's new schools, there's new commercial developments out there and whatnot. So this is when I talk about future growth potential. I think there's a lot to come out here because there literally is nothing but room for them to grow and develop. And this is one of the most popular areas right now of Colorado, just in terms of growth, because again, there's room out there. Once you come over here to kind of like the west side near the mountains, everything's already built, everything's already established. So we're only going to see Colorado continue to grow and expand out to the east, out to the north, and then down to the south. All right, moving on to neighborhood number 2. This is going to be Reunion, located in Commerce City, Colorado. Now, this is one area I don't think we've ever actually featured on our channel, so I'm excited to go over it with you guys. Now, Reunion is a master plan community, as I mentioned, within Commerce City, Colorado. You're located on the northeast side of Denver, and you're approximately 25 minutes from downtown. And again, you're only 15 to 20 minutes from the airport. You're gonna have average home prices out there of $475 to about $550 or so. And then of course you can go up from there. And one of my favorite things about the neighborhood here is really it's a new build community, right? It is a new community in general, but it's more established than Aurora Highlands. So you still get the new build vibes, but you have way more parks, really good rec centers, and more of your day-to-day amenities available very, very closely, like your Targets, your Walmarts, your grocery stores, gas station, things like that, where they just don't quite have a ton of those in Aurora Highlands Highlands quite yet. Now, let me jump over to the map here real quick and show you guys exactly where I'm talking about. Okay, so right here, we've got Denver in the center of the map. And then if we come up here to about 2 o'clock, you're gonna see this red outline here, that's Reunion. Now again, Aurora Highlands is located just south of the airport. Reunion is located just to the immediate west of the airport. Again, very close proximity to highways. You know, immediately around Reunion, let me get out the marker here, you're going to have 470 that loops all the way up and over, kind of around the outside and top of Reunion. You have I-76 that connects Reunion to I-25 down here. And then again, just for reference, we've got I-70 here on the bottom. So you're really located very close to 3 major highways. So whether you need to go north, south, or west out to the mountains, or east to Kansas for that matter, but probably not doing that, or west out to the mountains, you're going to have close access to highways regardless. And we do have quite a lot of people that are working at the airport, or they're pilots or something along those lines. So this one gets you, man, even closer potentially to the airport than Aurora Highlands. Now, coming over here to Reunion's website, this is just going to show you some highlights of everything that you can find out there. Already you can see how much open space that they have, right? You saw the pool earlier. The rec center here is absolutely amazing. It's like 15,000 square feet or something crazy like that. There's 10 different established parks out there. There are trails going through everything, and they have some beautiful lakes. That's where, honestly, like getting into North Denver, you're going to see a big difference, is because there's way more bodies of water as we go north of Denver than there is on the south side of Denver. All right, just to give you guys a couple more highlights of what is in Reunion. One of my favorite things here, anytime I'm out there, I always do swing by the Reunion Coffee House. I love these sort of coffee houses that are located, they're open to the public, but they're located within the neighborhood. It's just a great place to meet your community, meet some new neighbors and things like that, and saves you from having to go to Starbucks, which is always nice. Going forward here, they've got 8 acres of lakes, and all of these have walking paths around them. So if, you know, being out in nature without needing to drive to go somewhere is important to you, this is going to be a really good option for you. And you'll see just tons of families out there walking around the lakes with their dogs, with the kiddos on bikes and things like that. Again, it is just a really, really good, almost small town feel, which is super rare for a new build neighborhood. This is the 21,000 square foot rec center. There's 2 pools. There's a full gym in there. Just great place for the kids to go and burn off some energy here in the summer. And most homes out here in Colorado don't have pools or anything like that. You know, if you're coming from California or Florida, that might be a very common thing for you. We don't really have those in Colorado. Having communities that do have pools, people always love that. And then here, just 52 acres of open fields and parks. Tons of things to do with the kiddos and the family. You've got new schools that are built out there. And I'm going to jump over here and just give you a highlight of Reunion from Google Earth. So as I start coming down, you'll see right here, just in the Reunion neighborhood, which isn't gigantic, you've got 2 big lakes right here. You've got this little lake over here, this little lake over here, and this is a golf course around the neighborhood as well, which is uber cool if you are looking for that tee time. But I'll just zoom in here, guys, and show you just a little bit of the rec center, because it is just a really, really, really cool spot here. Again, you can see the trails going all around the lakes and whatnot. Let me jump into just one of these streets and show you guys just a little bit of what the homes are looking like out here. So you can see, and this is one of the benefits, guys, of being in a more established yet newer area. You see all the trees that are around. You know, the homes are still nice and new. You've got solar on a lot of these. Very, very green. You've got the mountains down here at the end of the road. Honestly, not terribly small backyards here. It looks like you've got these beautiful homes that are facing the water and park over here. So just absolutely beautiful. And guys, this is a bit of a hidden gem. You know, you get a lot of people that just, they maybe know what Commerce City is, but they aren't familiar with Reunion. And if you're looking for affordability, great new schools, new homes, tons of nature, and a really, really good community feel, you should definitely take a look at Reunion. All right, now our final location as far as top recommended areas for first-time homebuyers is going to be Brighton, Colorado. Now, Brighton is located just north of Reunion, which we just covered, and Brighton is mostly known in our state as a historic town. As one of our prerequisites for some place that we're recommending for first-time homebuyers being newer neighborhoods with new build homes, you might be surprised that I'm mentioning Brighton. Well, that is because in the past 5 years or so, Brighton has really begun to start development again with some new build communities. And what I love about Brighton is that you do get the new build community feel while still having a town that has very much that like small town historic charm vibe that a lot of you guys are looking for when you come out here to Colorado, with all the benefits of a new build community as well. So you're looking at an average home price out there within these communities of about $475 up to about $600. Brighton is located about 20 to 25 minutes from Denver and about 20 minutes from Denver International Airport. Okay, so to reorient you guys, here we've got Denver, the southwest side here, and just up north of there, we've got Brighton. Let me open my marker. So here we've got Denver. We just covered Reunion, is located right here, and then just immediately north of that we're going to have Brighton, which kind of takes up this bubble right here. Now, one of the biggest draws to Brighton as opposed to really any other area up north, or maybe even potentially Reunion, is going to be even more access to nature. Now, when I come over here to our Google Earth, you're going to see here Bar Lake State Park. So Bar Lake is a very popular, massive lake that is located up there in Brighton. I mean, there's trails that go all the way around it. There's a big outdoor archery range there, which is really cool. People will come on the lake and kayak. There's a ton of nature and trails around there, which is just absolutely amazing. If you go just on the west side of 76 here, this is where you're going to find a lot of those new build communities in a lot of this open space that you're going to find right here. I'll go ahead and drop into one of these new build areas so you can see just kind of what some of the neighborhoods look like here. So as you can see, there's literally construction going on as we speak, and we're just gonna jump down the street here a little bit. Now you will find, because a lot of this was just agricultural farmland that they started to develop, you're not gonna have those big green trees like you're going to see in Reunion. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the neighborhoods you will, but this particular one, this looks just almost like a more standard type of new build community. But the affordability up here, guys, is absolutely ridiculous. Again, you can get some really nice big homes for $700, $600, $550 even. And then as you can see, there's just still tons of open space up here, guys. So all things considered, when you're 20 minutes from downtown, 20 minutes from Denver International Airport, if you're looking for the most affordability while still having a small town vibe to everything, man, Brighton is going to be a really good option for you. And when I say historic, guys, I mean like really historic, really, really cool features with downtown Brighton. It is very, very small, right? It's not like a big Arvada or Golden where you're going to have like tons of shops and dining and things like that. It's almost more like Mayberry, right? If you guys remember Andy Griffith.
You have met your match. And then, I do.
Well, Mayor Pike. Miss Williamson, this is our Sheriff Andy Taylor and our Barber Floyd Lawson.
So that is Brighton in a nutshell, guys. Very, very Mayberry. It's great because you do get the new builds out there, but you get the Mayberry feel as well. So just to do a little recap here, when you're looking to buy your first home in Colorado and you're a first-time home buyer, going the new build route is a really good route. Not only is it nice having a new home, but that's some of the best ways that you can get the lowest possible interest rate right now by going with the new build, using their lender. And we're seeing people get rates anywhere from like 3.5% up to maybe 5% with their new build like lender incentives if you go with their lender. On top of that, you do get a new home, which is very, very nice because a lot of you guys that are coming out here, if you are, let's say, young 20s, mid 30s even, and you're buying your first home, it's a really good option to be able to live in it for 3 to 5 years and then turn that into your first rental that you have here in Colorado, and then you move on to the next house that you're going to grow into. When you're doing that and you have a rental, it is really nice when the home is still 5 years old or so, and you know that the mechanics are still good, roof is still good. You're not going to have any major expenses in your first few years of owning a rental, which is always, always, always a good play. And on top of that, guys, I want to be very clear that there are so many good places to live in Colorado. There are so many affordable places in Colorado. Even still, you might have to go on the outskirts a little bit of the metro area, but there are a ton of good options out here. It definitely is not just these 3 neighborhoods, but for the sake of this video, I wanted to throw some options out there and give you guys exposure to some cities cities that are very close to Denver, very close to the airport, that we haven't really done much of a deep dive in on our channel before. So I really just wanted to expose you guys to some new options. We've got some clients that are closing in all 3 of these areas within the next month or so. So shout out to all of you guys, you know who you are. And as a reminder, guys, we are licensed real estate brokers. So as much as we love making these videos, we love more to help you with your real estate needs. So there's a number popping up on the screen below. Throw us a phone call, text message, or email as well. We are the guys that answer the phone, reply back to your messages. We'd love to jump on a quick 30-minute Zoom call with you guys and help you game plan or strategize your potential move to Colorado. So with that being said, guys, we'll see you next week.